So this video is going to show you how to do an invisible join. I'll show you both ways. I usually use a hook to complete it. Most places ask you to do or show you how to do it with a needle. I prefer the hook. But we finished in this particular example. We've completed the 8 double crochets and cut our yarn, and now we're going to pull the loose end through. We'll start with the needle. Thread your yarn through the needle, and when you do an invisible join, you're making a false stitch on the top of the first stitch. It might be, ours happens to be 3 chains, it might be another double crochet, it just depends. But you're going to join it on the second stitch of the round. In this case, it's a double crochet. So when this fake stitch is made, we're going to, with a needle, we're going to insert our hook from the front to the back, because that's the direction that we want the yarn to go. And I got it in the wrong spot. All right, so gently tug, pull it in, tug a little bit. You can straighten everything out later. Keep this down out of your way, because this is we're going to go over the top of this one. So insert your hook from the top down through the center of this right here. I know it seems like this is really big and you're not going to get it. Let me flatten it out a bit. Is this right here? Let me lay it flat so you can see it. This is where it came from, and we're now going to go through the top, from the top to the bottom. We're going to pull it through real carefully. Go straight. I'm going to hold this down. There you go. All right. So now you've completed a needle join. I should say an invisible needle join. All right. Now, I like to do it with a hook. I think it's easier, but it's not everybody's cup of tea. So, the way I do it, once again, I'm going to go into the second stitch of the row, but because I want my yarn to go from the front to the back, and I'm pulling with a hook, I'm pulling the yarn through. So it's really important that you go the opposite of the needle join. If you're doing a needle join, you're pushing your needle through. If you're using a hook, you're pulling the yarn through. So you have to go the opposite direction. So here we have the ending yarn piece, the yarn end. We went through the second stitch of the round from the front to the back. Turn your work over, keep this out of the way. Now we're going to go, we want the yarn to go from the top to the bottom. So that means our hook, I always go underneath this yarn, the hook has to go from the bottom to the top so we can grab the yarn. Does that make sense? So you grab it and pull it through. All right? So there it is. Now to prevent this from moving, I always anchor it down. I'll show you what I do. I usually grab a bump back here, take the long tail, that is the ending yarn tail. I usually pull it through here, and then maybe a spot over here, just to kind of keep it in place until I weave in my ends. So there is your invisible join. I hope this was informational and you got a lot out of it. And thank you for coming.